We return to the case of the golden idol, where now we enter chapter 3, the ascent, and this thing about a secretive society. So I guess not aliens, just weird masks. So I guess we may find out about what's going on with them, because we've seen them mentioned in some letters, like they're threatening people. They wanted the idol, but then other people also wanted the idol, so things were happening all over the place. But I guess we get to see, okay, we've got some footprints going that way. We've got some different footprints going off that way. And we've got both of those footprints and drag marks going towards. So 2 people dragging something of a path, and then they leave in like 2 slightly different directions for some reason. Oh, and there's a man in a bush. I guess he's the one that was dragged. He's got a tattoo with a hand and an eye and nothing else, because he's been relieved of his possessions. We've got some things. We've got a rope, pistol, a coat, to David Goran for reliable service from SC. Okay. David Goran is involved. David, the gathering will be on March 14. To follow our plan, we should be there at least 2 hours before midnight. The target will arrive in full costume, grab rope and weapons. WK. WK was the robber. What was his name? I have saved like all of the solved screens from all the previous games, because it feels like, yes, knowing people's names and what they've done before in the story may help us solve cases. So I have this as my reference to the side. So now David Goran, Edmund Cloudsley's coachman, is working with Walter Keane, the gentleman robber, to do things to get the idol or something. Because yeah, this is the tobacco that David Goran would often have on himself. And it's also the fake name he used like when he was staying at the inn and stuff like that. So that is David Goran's stuff. But is this David Goran? I'm not sure. He doesn't look super familiar. There's other bags here. Okay, there's the hats, so we could tell this is Walter Keane's stuff, because he loves his hats. He also had hats last time, and yes, a hat. I assume his fancy hat. So actually from this letter, they may have tied up someone else, and now they're left their coat and stuff. They're like posing as this person that they got tied up in a bush. And we can go inside. So we've got some crests. Brothers wear masks appropriate to their house. There's dark hands, that looks like the tattoo on that hand, proud beast, and water snakes. Then we've got brothers wear robes appropriate to their rank. Okay, so there's Master Steward Initiate. So that guy that's in the bush, he's a dark hand initiate based on that. Actually, let's look at the thinking panel and see what they want. Okay, we don't know. But there's masks and outfits, and yeah, lots of things to fill in here. But yes, could we say that he's a dark hand initiate? Yeah, okay, so that's what they wanted us to figure out here. He doesn't have a name then, it's just a named initiate that they've grabbed and tied up. There are scrolls. Okay, January 5th, 1789. Masters, I ventured on the Order's mission to reclaim our fire-breathing relic, and with great resolve punished the despicable enemy. I, with a few brave companions, fearlessly entered his hideout in a remote hunting cabin. But the devil had prepared a treacherous trap, and an explosion slaughtered my dearest friends as we entered his study. Thanks to my sturdy physique, I survived the blast, only to be assaulted by the enemy's lackey, assassin warrior David Goran, and a pack of bloodthirsty hounds. After an hour of fight, I received numerous deadly wounds, in spite of which I prevailed and defeated my assailants with my martial training. I discovered the enemy's dead bodies, slain by the trap of his own making, but no trace of the relic. I am forced to go into hiding because the government's watchmen are tracking me. Once I have recovered from my deadly wounds and shaking off the watchmen, I will send you the next report. May the Griffin awaken, Walter Keane. Okay, so Walter Keane is part of this organization. He was sent to get the relic for them, but here Walter Keane is working with David Goran? Like everyone is backstabbing and double dipping and everything. Like what's going on? Because it's like David Goran hired Walter Keane to help him get the dead body for Edmund Cloudsley's experiment, but then supposedly betrayed them to get the idol, but it didn't work because of the trap. But now we're saying he is working with them, but he's also working with the Order. Like what's happening? Here's October 20, 1789. Masters, I must apologize 1,000 times for my absence, but my road to recovery was full of peril and valor that cannot be sufficiently conveyed in writing. The government dogs and spies chased me tirelessly, and I was forced to seek refuge in Aquatina to recover from my still dire wounds. There I finally bested my pursuers with the help of Lazarus Hurst, a young, resourceful gentleman I met in remote manner one dark winter's night. Not only did he earn my trust by stepping into the fray against the villains, but he turned out to be well versed in the arcane arts. Of course, not yet close to your skills. I have finally recovered and plan to return to Albion. I suggest that Lazarus would be a fine addition to the Order. I vouch for him and will invite him to undergo the appropriate trial. My degree for the Awakened, Walter Keane. I mean, honestly, the Walter Keane sounds a bit like he's just making it up. Like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm just very wounded and very busy, so I can't come. I'll be there later. While he's actually plotting something else with other people. And we got 1790, okay, so we may actually be in 1790 by now. Illuminated Master, I object to the admittance of the individual Lazarus Hurst to our brethren. I submit that our dark-haired brother Walter Keane, who vouches for him, cannot be trusted because he's a liar and a thief. I am certain that on dispatching our enemy, he kept the golden fire-breathing relic for himself. Nothing will move me on this. He must produce the relic, apologize personally to me, and afterwards be expelled from our brotherhood. Sir Geoffrey Sinclair. Okay, so yeah, someone's onto Walter Keane's schemes here, and we've got something going on in here. He's got some pokers. We've got a man carrying a house. We've got a man eating something black. We've got a fish sitting in a house, and we've got two people dressed inappropriately for the weather. He says, prepare to receive what you have earned, and he's wearing a mask and an outfit, yeah, because that was what it was. Yeah, they have to wear robes based on their rank and masks based on their brotherhood thing. So he's got 2 ruby rings, which is an object that other people have had, and I thought previously was linked to a family, specific family, but maybe it's linked to this order, or maybe it's just ruby rings people have because they're rich, I don't know, but it's definitely appeared. Okay, so he has a lion, like a branding iron, and a single eye, so I assume this person is being made into a Proud Beast initiate. And February 10, 1790, brother, a member of our order has proposed a new candidate to join our brotherhood. Our brother's trustworthiness, however, has been challenged. Therefore, we have decided to take measures to resolve the fate of the individuals. If the brother proves himself, he can vouch for the newcomer. If the newcomer survives the appropriate trial, he will join our ranks. You are summoned to join our gathering on March 14 and fulfill your role in the rights of our brotherhood. Council of Masters. Okay, so they called this guy to be like, you help us deal with it. We've got this guy. I have signaled to Griffin who I am. I accept my fate, whatever it might be. Okay, so he's the guy being accepted to the order. So we have Inception, evaluation, transition, admission. Okay, those are all things that have to happen. You must endure the test of snail, fire, water, tree, administered by Proud Beast Steward. And then endure the test of tree, fire, time, water, administered by Dark and Steward or Master. Transition, you must endure the test of star, fire, water, snail, administered by Water Snake Master. And admission, you must endure the test of snail, time, water, and star, administered by any master. Okay, so there are some sort of rituals that are followed based on what's happening to the person, so that's a thing. Okay, so we have to figure out what this ritual is that's happening, I assume, based on that sheet we just saw, and who's doing the ritual and who's getting this initiation or whatever the ritual is. Another place here. Okay, so we have people in different coats, people with different masks, people with different different tools, and there's a guy on the floor. So what's going on? And there's a death on the window. Cups on stone altar. They contain some wine, but are almost empty. Okay. Is this a drinking competition? It's like who can drink the most wins. Okay, so this guy is wearing a mask, a coat. He has the ruby ring, but he's dead. He's not breathing. This guy again, a mask, different mask, but same coat. He says the griffin has spoken. He also has a ruby ring. This guy, the griffin has spoken, also has the ring. A tray with a small vial of unknown substance. Okay, yes. So he has a new kind of coat, but the same mask as the guy who's on the floor. He's got silver tankard with some red wine in it and a ring. And let us await the results from the chamber below. I assume whatever that other guy is going through. We've got a sword and a ruby ring, and the griffin has spoken. We've got a staff, scepter, and a ruby ring. Okay, so we have white coats, burgundy coats, and green coats, and then we have a scarecrow mask, like an, I don't know, alien vampire mask, and a red, like a, I don't know, stone mask. So those are all different things. So there's another ritual. Done when an accuser has challenged a defender. Both drinkers must be barefoot. The substance is added depending on the severity of the accusation, including deadly poison. Okay. Add substance to one of the cups. Defender chooses first. Accuser chooses the remaining, both partake in wine cups, okay? So they're basically saying it's random choice, but because they believe in some sort of higher power, they're basically like, the higher power will protect the person who's right? So they're being like, you chose the correct cup because the higher power led you to it, and you didn't die. Whatever else other substance in the end give you, and that's how they decide who's lying and who's not. Ritual of squabble. Only initiates can be defender and accuser. The sword must be borne by any dark hand. Require decorations of the hall, the Grim Reaper, the never tiring teacher, the feeder of mouse. Okay, and ritual of conflict. The accuser must deeply hate the defender. The sword must be borne by an initiate. Require decorations of the hall, the never tiring teacher, the keeper of treasures, the mirror of the soul. Okay, so they have different rituals that have different things, which is like the blue, like the little blue things are the decorations, and we see there are blue decorations. So I assume that tells us something. There's different rituals here. Rituals of dispute. Only stewards or higher rank can be defender and accuser. The scepter must be borne by a water snake master. Required decorations, keeper of treasures, the never tiring teacher, the Grim Reaper. Ritual of discord. The houses of the accuser and defender stand behind their brothers. The scepter must be borne by dark hand master. Required decorations of the hall. The speaker to the blind, the Grim Reaper, the keeper of treasures. Okay. So I assume based on the decorations we're supposed to work out what's happening, which then will tell us things about the people holding the objects, maybe, because that will be like, oh, you know, the sword must be borne by an initiate, or like borne by a darker, and like stuff like that. So we will start narrowing down what positions or groups people are in based on that. So okay, so this is like a general instruction. That's what they always do, but then depending on people's position or relation, they pick a different ritual to deal with things. Okay, so yeah, now that tells us we have to fill in this ritual and who was involved and all of that. And we have all the clues now, so we're done. So, okay, so based on the fact that there is a decoration on this window here, right? So this is the Grim Reaper for sure, which means this is narrowed down to the ritual of squabble or the or dispute or discord. So basically, okay, all that tells us is conflict this out, which helps because that means you know, we don't have to deal with like who deeply hate each other, right? We're down to the rituals where people have a specific rank and where they stand. Yes, mass approach to the house. Okay, so this last ritual, the houses of the accuser and defender stand behind their brothers. Which would mean if this was a ritual of discord, we would see the people with the same mask on the same side, but we have like both sides. We have the people with the alien vampire, and then the scarecrow guy is here, and the red mask is here, right? So I think we can discard discord because they are not like organized based on their house masks, which means it's either dispute or squabble, and that tells us, their squabble is for initiates, and dispute is for stewards or masters. So okay, so what other decorations? Because we have the Grim Reaper, the Keeper of Treasure, and the Never-Ending or the Never-Tiring Teacher. Or here we have the Grim Reaper, the Never-Tiring Teacher, and the Feeder of Mouths. So the decorations are on the key and the book. The Never-Tiring Teacher, that makes sense for it to be a book, right? Because obviously the book will always teach you things. It can't get tired, it's a book. And the Keeper of Treasures is a key. Because I'm not sure what a Feeder of Mouths would be. Like, I'm not seeing anything in this room even that I would say, like, maybe they bring the objects in depending on what they need, and then the tags are just separate thing to mark them. So I would say from that is that this is the Ritual of Dispute, because that's the correct decorations. And then that tells us that the people in the ritual must be stewards or higher, and the scepter must be borne by Water Snake Master. So this is a Water Snake mask, and the white coat is for a master, right? That really narrows down that situation. Can I enter this anywhere? Okay, so we have, this is a dispute. They're having a dispute, and this is a Water Snake Master. And now, because he's a master, right, and it said robes appropriate to their rank, he's a master, which means white robe is for a master. And those two guys are wearing green clothes, so they're not masters. They're stewards, because it's the stewards or higher, and we only have initiate, steward, masters. So the green coats are for stewards. So we can enter that those people here are steward. Like, it gives us a gray and a brown thing, which I assume means we could either put a name or a title. Is either is a possibility, but we can't see who they are. So obviously from the letter there was that thing about Jeffrey Sinclair thinks that Walter Keane is a liar, so one of them is probably Walter Keane and one of them is Jeffrey Sinclair, but we can't see them. But anyway, that makes him a Water Snake steward, the guy that's down, right? Because the masks match. And he's also a Water Snake, and he has a different coat, so we only have initiate left. So this is a Water Snake initiate, this guy here, which leaves us with those two, what's Scarecrow and what's the Stone Mask in terms of the houses. This guy, he's also an initiate because he has the same road as this guy, and this one's a master because he's wearing a white coat as well. So actually here, this guy is wearing a green coat, so he's gonna be a steward, and that may help us solve that downstairs thing, and maybe it will tell us something. Because here we have some of those rituals require masters, right? So transition and admission, you need a master, and this guy is not a master. So here we got steward for inception or steward for evaluation, one of those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I assume those pictures was linked because they also have 1, 2, 3, 4 on top. So we just have to match it to which one is it. Now, one here is a snail, and the picture one here is a guy carrying a house. So that's kind of like a snail, then guy eating fire could be very spicy. He's eating spicy food. Then there's a fish, so that could be linked to water. And then there's a guy. I said he was inappropriately dressed for the weather, but I guess it's like if it's a tree, then like he's got a coat on during the summer, right? Because like trees have leaves during the summer, and then he's naked in winter because trees don't have leaves in winter. I don't know. So is this Inception? So it's Inception, which would make this guy a Proud Beast steward. And now in that letter, it said that Walter Keane wanted to, get Lazarus Hearst into the order. So this might be Lazarus Hearst. Yep. Okay, that's all correct and locked in. So now we know that the red masks are proud beasts, which means we can make this guy a proud beast, and that leaves Dark Hands to be the interesting. 2 or fewer slots are incorrect. Okay. So 2 or fewer will basically mean one person's designation is incorrect for some reason. So that's a proud beast because it matches the mask, and that's a master because that's what we got from it matching the ritual, right? If we got this ritual wrong, then it feels like we would be having more things wrong based on that. So, okay, yeah, green coat is steward, that's confirmed. So that all works, then this is proud beast. Is it because it wants us to give them an actual name, right? Because we know that the dispute is between Walter Keane and this Jeffrey Sinclair. And then here, we got this guy that's a Dark Hand Initiate. So someone, yeah, like David Goren is dressed up as a Dark Hand Initiate. So is that what we need to be putting in? So actually it's not those guys, because they are, yeah, they're stewards. He's Dark Hand and he's Water Snake. But yes, if this is Dark Hand Initiate, then that's David Goren in disguise. Yeah, okay, it wanted us to actually know that that's what's happening. Okay, so here I just need to confirm the masks and designations. So master and initiate, yes, okay. That's all good, and now we have to make a sentence with all of that information. So so either person's name or their title was verb, so signal drunk challenge to a ritual, yeah, so it's probably this part. So someone was challenged to some dispute ritual, yeah, that would be it. He, along with someone, ambushed someone posing as this to blah blah, which had no so someone drank the other cup and died. Meanwhile, someone passed the... Okay, so this last sentence is about Lazarus Hearst passed the Inception ritual to become... It was a proud beast, right? It was a proud beast. The guy was holding the branding stick with the lion, which was a proud beast as far as I know. So a proud beast initiate. So I think that's what's happening here. And this is about them tying up that one guy and coming in here to do whatever's happening. So this is Walter Keane, right? Because that was Walter Keane was challenged to a dispute ritual by the other guy who said he's a liar. He, along with David Goren, they ambushed a Dark Hand Initiate. That's the guy in the bush. So then David Goren is posing as Dark Hand Initiate. He signaled to Walter Keane with, what is he holding? He's holding a tankard here, right? To Walter Keane with a tankard, which cup had no poison. And then this guy, the Water Snake Steward, but we know his name, like Jeffrey Sinclair, we can put that. Because when it wants us to put the name, then it's like, no, you must put the name. So he drank the other cup and died. Yes, after being challenged to a ritual with potentially deadly consequences, Walter conspired with David to devise a plan which would ensure his own safety. They captured a Brotherhood member on his way to the gathering. David took his costume so that during the ritual of dispute he could indicate to Walter which cup was poisoned. Therefore, Walter chose the safe cup and his opponent drank the poison and died. Yes. Well, is now the interesting question is like, did David Goren therefore betray Edmund Cloudsley? Because obviously, yeah, in that previous scene it was like, oh, the robbers that were supposed to help with the body delivery, but instead they broke in and tried to steal the idol, and Edmund's hiding, and then he dies. And even though David Goran got smacked over the head, that could have been a cover of some sort. So it's like that he started working with those guys instead, because I guess Edmund is not in the Brotherhood, right? So it's basically the Brotherhood wants the idol, but then other random individuals also want the idol. And Walter is in the Brotherhood, so he may have been telling David Goran like, hey, how about you join us and, you know, leave that other guy behind. And that was the setup, maybe? The crowning celebration by the Lighthouse. So we have a bunch of dudes here gathered with their mask. Okay, so this is still the Brotherhood business. And there is a dude here. This guy looks familiar. I've seen him before. So it's the masks from the Brotherhood. Okay, apparently shoes are gonna be important. Yeah, it's a guy with a ring, and he's got a seal with the number 7. Because obviously if you reverse it, that's a 7. That was an actual miracle. Unbelievable. So there is a Griffin reborn. Okay, they keep talking about this Griffin. Don't know who that is. Other like a mythical creature. He's got spurs, so that's like for horse riding, and he didn't have spurs. He's got like nice shoes. Kneel before Griffin reborn and make ready. I will lead your brothers to great many challenges. Okay. He's got this journal from Edmund, right? Because it says easy on it. He like had his monogram on everything. So, and it's the book for where he was writing his research. So I guess they stole it as well after he died. So miracle preparation after the something input. I have it here. So after decrease air input, aim at the sky, press the lever to maximum position and hold for at least 10 seconds. At this point, the idol should be full enough to perform the miracle once. Okay, so it's like sucking up the air for some reason. Miracle hypothesis, the water works better, but the effect is not as convincing. Therefore, increase air. Main challenge is ensuring my balance when holding onto the idol. Practice is paramount. Okay, so they're sucking up the air and then pushing out the air so they can do something, some sort of trick. But it's supposed to be a miracle. Safety notice. Upon pulling the trigger, if the glyph input is meaningful, the idol will perform the intended action on the target you can see. If its eye is red, it's ready for the increase input and it will turn blue afterwards. If the eye is blue, you can only perform decrease input and it will turn red afterwards. Okay, so it has states like in and out, right? You can suck things into it and then you can push the things out. You can't just keep sucking things in or releasing things all the time. Like it's a magical device which basically is able to suck things out, put it inside of it regardless, I guess, of the size, and then push them out and cause various effects. Yeah, we've sort of learned that already, right? In the cabin. Okay, he's got like some other shoes. He got fancy shoes, and he also got fancy shoes, but he got heels. Here I brought back your staff, O Griffin Reborn. He got hats. That Walter Keane, previously he was wearing like the robber mask, or the Brotherhood mask, but I assume that might be him. A golden snuff box filled with opium. Okay, he's got that kind of stuff. Okay, so idol is in this staff, and it's set to increase air. And this is broken. Like it's chipped or something at the end. So he put the idol inside of this and he did his trick, I guess. May 14, 1791, their master McBain. The threat to contact the chief inspector about my past offended me greatly. Being an honest soul, I have no choice but to comply with your base demands. I may have invited Lazarus into our brotherhood, but he has not shared all his secrets with me. Luckily, I had an opportunity to see him practicing this miracle. He has a magical artifact hidden in his cane. When performing the miracle, he input the following glyphs. So he input increase air. Then he pressed a small lever on the handle of the cane and it grants him the powers to demonstrate the miracle. I have no doubt that the staff will work just as well in your hands as him. Sincerely, Darkan Stewart. Okay, so someone was like, oh yeah, we figured out his secret and you can do it yourself. But I assume if you didn't read the safety instructions and just do the second thing, then it's not gonna work so well. Because yeah, this guy, yes, that's the broken piece of the staff lying here. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, his arm is broken. He got the ring, some letters. Water State Master. Lately I have experienced disturbing dreams and I feel cursed. Are you the source of this with your magic? Desist immediately and know that when pushed, my rage is absolute. Do not toy with the well-being of the Empire's general, for I do not tolerate being attacked. In my many voyages, I have learned the dark arts too. If need be, I will summon 1,000 invisible demons to crush your bones. Proud Beastmaster. Dear friend, it is not so simple for me to get you a seat alongside me on the court of directors at the 17th Company. As a doctor, I recommend you to stop obsessing over it. It will only unbalance your humors. Let us discuss alternatives at the next party at Kensington Palace. Okay, so this guy just getting into whatever business, and his legs are broken, and there is footsteps going back and forth, and we have different boot shapes. That's why we're looking at people's shoes and some oars. Okay, so yeah, he was trying to do whatever idle magic they were doing with the staff, but he doesn't know all of the instructions, so he hurt himself. There is, yes, the door into here is locked from inside. There is rules. Griffin Rebirth. Okay, that's why they're calling him Griffin Reborn. The one who claims to be Griffin Reborn must perform a miracle. Okay, that explains what they're doing. They're saying like, oh, do a miracle. If someone repeats the miracle, it is proven that it was not a miracle but mere magic. Okay, so that's why the other guy wanted to do it too, to be like, nah, it's just a thing, you know, it's not a miracle. But if no one can repeat the miracle, the masks fall. Okay, so yeah, they removed the masks because the other guy tried to do the same thing and died. And oh yeah, if someone does the miracle and it's proven to be magic, your head is chopped off. But if no one else can do it, you're the Griffin Reborn. But that seems to use a very small sample, right? If a person within this group can repeat it, then it's just magic. But if they can't, then it's a miracle. So they consider themselves to be the most knowledgeable of whether it's magic or miracles, where they could clearly be tricked. So we have Chronicles of Griffin Rebirth. In 1725, the first Darkened Lord Harrington demonstrated flying, jumped off a cliff to his death. So he didn't really demonstrate anything then. In 1756, Proud Beastmaster Lord Ledsley performed a seance talking to spirits. Lord Angus MacBain, that was the other guy, because he was called MacBain, although could have been his father or relative or something, repeated the miracle, proving him unworthy. In 1764, Darkened Master Lord Jones demonstrated the creation of homunculus. Lord Angus MacBain produced a homunculus as well. Okay, so Angus likes to get in on the business, right? He likes to be like, no, you're not the Griffin Reborn because I can do this too. In 1771, Proud Beastmaster Lord White carried out the hypnosis of a servant. Lord Angus MacBain hypnotized the same man as well. Okay, yes, so Angus here, because that's his name, right? Not this one. This. Where was it? I thought I saw his name on him. Oh, okay, on this guy. Okay, so this guy was telling... So this is Walter Keane, right? With his hats. Okay, so he sent this letter. So basically, it's like, oh yeah, Angus likes to get involved into disproving claims. So we're gonna tell him he can do the miracle so he gets in trouble or something. Because yeah, this is... What's his face? Yeah, because this is Lazarus Hearst, and if this is Walter Keane, then obviously they're working together, right? So it would make sense that they're basically trying to get rid of Angus, who tends to disprove everyone's claims, because they are plotting. Okay, so this guy, and thus Griffin Reborn revealed himself to his brothers by demonstrating a true miracle. Okay, so he's got like a crown for him, I assume. What an honor to experience such a historical event. He's got the watch and the ring. Protocol of an attempt to demonstrate a miracle. June 23rd, 1791. Location the Lighthouse on Gull Islet near the Horn of Codhead. Time noon. Present Lord Angus MacBain, yeah, that guy. Alistair Caw, James Turner, Walter Keane, and Lazarus Hurst, yes. In charge of notes, the Nicholas Maker. Oh yeah, isn't that the... Yeah, he's like the lawyer that did the will reading, so it's all coming full circle. Dear Water Snake Brother Maker. Okay, so he's in the Brotherhood as well. As the director of the Seven Seas Trading Company, I do not assess work applications. These go through the official channels, so my staff can evaluate your credentials and authority. Dark Master JT. Okay, they're all trying to like use their connections to get in like business and whatever, but they're just being told no, use your proper channels. Okay, well apparently that's all the clues, but there's still stuff in here. Okay, the lighthouse. By guarding the lighthouse, you guard the Empire, General Alistair Caw. And then it's just a trapdoor to the lighthouse, okay? Were they just using the lighthouse to do their miracle? Then that's how this guy died. He's fallen from the top. Okay, so what we need to do? Okay, so we have to name people, so we can do some of that because we have Walter Keane. And Maker, he's called Nicholas Maker. This is Angus McBain, because he's the guy that tries to disprove everyone's miracles, and that's why he dies. This is Lazarus Hurst. So we have Alistair James Go Turner. Do they have anything? He just has like a 7, and he's the other guy. He also doesn't have anything on him. Like the main identifiers is one has fancy boots and one has like I don't know what sort of boots are those, but they're not fancy. Okay, so there's Alistair Koch, and he's a general. And then second will be James Turner. How do I know about James Turner? Dr. James Turner. Did I see him before? No. Both of them are new. Okay, but here we can see that JT, so James Turner, is a Dark Hunt Master, but they're both wearing master clothes, so that doesn't help. Okay, well, we have to figure out what their names are, but other than guessing, I'm not sure what is the information. This one, so this is Angus, right? So Angus McBain blackmailed to Walter Keane, right? Because Walter told him about it. And then he stole the letter back to cover up his tracks. To find out how Lazarus would perform the miracle of flying then, because like they're jumping off the lighthouse. Yeah, that's supposed to be flying. Also, people have the magical relic in their hearts automatically. Okay, so Lazarus does the flying. Then McBain goes, I can do that too, because he has the letter that tells him half the instruction. But then after he falls and dies, Walter Keane grabs the relic to bring it. So we have Lazarus has it here first to do the miracle. Then Angus McBain has it second to try to disprove him. And then Walter Keane has it first to bring it back. Yes. Okay, so we have someone did something to demonstrate the miracle. Yeah, okay. So it's the miracle of flying, and they become Griffin Reborn. And that's Lazarus Hurst. Hurst jumped. He jumped, right? Jumped from the lighthouse using the idol, right? To demonstrate the miracle of flying and become Griffin Reborn. And then Angus McBain jumped from the lighthouse afterwards. This resulted in Angus McBain's death from head wound. There we go. When Lazarus Hurst jumped from the lighthouse and survived using the hidden golden idol, Master Angus McBain thought he had enough information to repeat the miracle and prevent Lazarus from becoming Griffin Reborn. He seized the staff from Lazarus and locked the lighthouse door to prevent foul play. However, he did not know all the secrets of the idol. It did not work for him, and Angus jumped to his death. Yes. Okay, so that's how he had to like hold it into it like this, which I don't know. That's not too suspicious that he's holding a thing to do it. Okay, so now he's Griffin Reborn. Whatever that gives him. Well, I assume he's like makes him, even though he's an initiate, that I guess elevate him up the ranks of this organization. But he's not doing actual miracles. He's just using the idol, which obviously isn't doing magic miracles. But apparently they like, no, it's just magic. That doesn't count. So yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts so far. Like and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, to let me and YouTube know that the video was good. And I'll see you soon on another adventure.